Joe Hopkins here, and I tell you what, I know this kid who's, well, he's not a kid, he's an adult now, but he's younger. He's just getting into guitar, he's just learning it. It's been so long since I first started playing that I was surprised at the stuff he didn't know you needed when you learn guitar. So I thought I'd make this video and go over the stuff. What do you need? What do you need when you first start playing guitar? Now, when I first started playing, I was kind of privileged, you know? My dad was also a guitarist, so most of the stuff I needed was already laying around the house, you know? We already had a lot of that stuff, and I already had a pretty good idea of what I needed. My dad knew what you need when you first learn guitar. Already had an idea of it, right? But a lot of people don't. And this guy, he doesn't know some of the things you need. He even messed up restringing a guitar, which, little tip, don't measure the string, then cut it to the length, then tune it. You tune it up. You string it, tune it, and then clip the excess. Yeah, he did that. Took the string, saw how long he needed it, clipped it to that length, and then tried to tune it. It doesn't work that way. Then it's too short. You need extra length. That's why the strings are long. It sounds dumb, but if you've never messed with guitars before, you don't know, right? The kid doesn't know. The guy I'm talking about, his brother did that. He's also learning guitar. So what do you need when you first start learning guitar, right? Well, of course you need a guitar, right? It doesn't have to be a fancy guitar. It doesn't have to be an expensive guitar. It's your first guitar. You should probably get something that's halfway decent, but not terribly expensive. It doesn't matter if it has the right sound or the right this or that. You're just learning. You might not take to it. A lot of people, they start learning guitar and then they just kind of set it aside and never touch it again. So there's no point in spending a lot of money on something that you might not stick with, right? I'm not being discouraging, just realistically, your first guitar should be inexpensive. This is my Harley Benton Delta Blues model. I spent like $100 on this. Something like this is perfect for a beginner or even for an advanced player. But if you're just learning, yeah, it's good not to spend a lot of money. You need a guitar. Second, get some picks. Unless you're going to learn finger picking, right? I didn't buy picks immediately because I started out on classical guitar. If you do that, maybe you don't need picks. You use your fingers. But generally, steel string guitars, you want to pick. Buy a pack of them. You'll lose these. Don't buy one pick. Don't go to the guitar store or the music store, buy like a pick, because they got like a tray of picks. You can buy one at a time if you want. Buy a pack, and a little bit of advice, if you're new, buy one of them multi-packs. They have them on Amazon. I have one around here somewhere. Yeah, I got a box down there with little dividers, and it's all the different sizes of picks, all the different thicknesses. So you have a couple in each thickness. You can try them out. If you're new, you don't know what you like, you haven't really messed with it yet, generally get a medium pick, and then from there decide if you like them or if you want to go thinner or thicker. That's up to you. It's nice to buy a multi-pack like that so you can try different picks. Maybe you do that later. If you're just buying one pack of picks, go with mediums. Just this is my .70 millimeter Diodarios. They're just a medium pick. That's a good place to start, and then decide from there if you want to do something different. But you need picks. Like I said, buy a bunch of them. You'll lose them. You know what I mean? Next, get a tuner. They got these little clip-on tuners. They're on Amazon. They're cheap. You can buy them at music stores. They have them all over the place, and they're inexpensive. You just clip it right here on the headstock, right? And helps you tune your guitar. They didn't have those when I was first learning. Those little clip-on ones. I'd never seen those back then. They didn't exist. So, it's good to learn to tune by ear, right? I used to tune to the piano. I'd tune my low E string to the piano and then tune the guitar to itself. It's good to know how. You got your 5th fret. You just, the strings, you can tune the low string, the one below it. Finger the 5th fret. Now it's the same note as the one above it. like that all the way up until you get to the G string, and then it's 4th fret. And then the next one up's 5th fret, right? And you can tune it to itself. But it's good, as cheap as these tuners are, go ahead and get one. My first tuner, this isn't my first one, but this is similar to my first one, was one of these, where it has a little microphone, right? And you set it on your knee there, or on your lap in front of the guitar, and try to tune it that way. And if there's any noise around you, it throws it off. These were a pain in the ass, right? It worked good for electric guitar. It's got an input, and that just shoots directly into it. That was nice, but these headstock tuners are great. Get one. You need a tuner. What else do you need when you're just learning, right? Well, you don't need it, but you might want a strap. I've got a bunch of guitar straps. You might need that. A lot of acoustic guitars, right? They all have the strap button at the bottom. Some, like this, have the strap button up here. Some don't. Some don't have an upper one. You get a length of shoestring and just tie it behind the nut and through the strap thing to hold it. Or they have straps with little buttons that wrap through that. But yeah, you might want to get a strap if you want to stand up and play, which is usually if you want to play at parties, play for your friends, that kind of stuff, stand up, play stuff. Yeah, when you're first learning, you don't need one. That's optional, right? You don't need a strap, but it's cool to have one. It can be good to have one. Eventually, you're probably going to want one. But something that you do need when you're first learning, get a chord book. Right? And I say a chord book, I know they have all this stuff, you know, chords, and this is chords and progressions. It's good to get one with chords and scales, the different scales, right? They got a lot of different ones. This is like, you know, small sized, fits in a case real well, stick it in your back pocket, that kind of thing. The reason why you want these instead of just looking it up online, because yeah, we all have our phones with us. You can look it up online. It just feels so much easier with a book. And you can use your phone, that's fine. But for some reason, I find an actual chord book to be pretty nice. Plus, you can just stick it in, if you have a case, you can stick it in the case with your guitar. It's good to have a case with your guitar. You don't have to, but at least like a gig bag so you can take it places with you without beating it up too bad. And you can just stick the chord book in there. That's a good thing to have when you're first learning guitar. Might not be a bad idea, along with the guitar, to get a spare set of strings, right? And that can be confusing because there are a lot of different brands and string gauges and that kind of stuff. My advice is try to find out what they have, what strings are on the guitar you bought, right? A lot of companies put on like Diodario's strings or Martin strings or some brand name, they stick them on there. Sometimes they're generic strings, but if they have it like a regular brand of strings on the guitar, find out at least what gauge it is and get what was already on the guitar, at least at first, until you start wanting to try different things, right? These are just a couple things you might want when you're first learning to play the guitar. Another thing, not necessary at the beginning, but eventually you'll probably want one, especially if you're doing acoustic, is a capo, right? These are pretty nifty. It's good to have one. And people might ask, what are they for? What is the point of a capo? Well, it's because especially on acoustic guitar, when you're playing chords, playing in C, right? I play a C chord. Let's play the key of C. Let's say that's not the right key for me, but I like the way the chords sound in that key. I can just move it up, right? All that does is it holds down the strings behind whatever fret you put it on, and now we've changed the key of the guitar. If you want to sing songs, right, this is a good thing to have. So then let's say you learn the chords to a song, you're playing your song, right? and you're like, I'm having trouble singing it in that key. I can't sing along. You can kind of experiment, move it around until you find the key you want. And then once you find the key you want, there you go. That's where you capo it to. It's a good thing to have. You don't have to buy it right off the bat, but you definitely want it. Eventually you're going to want one if you play acoustic. If you're playing electric, that's different. But even electric players, some of them use capos. So, you know, good thing to have. Definitely the things you want initially is the guitar, the tuner, and the chord book. Those are very important things, and picks. And get a strap and a capo and other things if you want to. They're useful. And then you're into playing the guitar, right? Learn some chords. That's the important thing when you first start learning. Learn the chords, regardless of what kind of music you eventually want to play. It's good to learn your basic chords, what some people call your cowboy chords. It's your basic chords down here, you know. And there's a good reason for that. When you start learning strumming patterns and just practice going between them. Yeah, just practice going between your chords. You got a chord book, learn as many different chords as you can. Learn as many chords as you can and practice going between the chords, just even if you're just mindlessly strumming. And understand at first you're gonna fumble, you're gonna be playing, and then have to look for the chord, and then have to find. It's gonna take a little bit of practice, but that's why you sit there and you strum until you can do it. You just keep doing it until you can. It's all muscle memory. That's an important thing. And learn some scales. And next thing you know, you're playing guitar. Yeah, something like that eventually. But it's good to know your scales. Or something thereof, right? Yeah, now I'm just fiddling around because I got a guitar in my hands, and you'll do that someday too, where every time there's a guitar, you just fiddle with it, you know? But yeah, that's the stuff you need when you start out. Like I said, not everybody knows these things, so it's good to put that out there. And I hope you found this informative, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.